Dominic Mysterio versus Danhausen is officially announced for SummerSlam. Raw is over. Let's talk about it. Judgment Day and Danhausen, they were demanding their money back, and they went out there with Danhausen. Danhausen he cursed them, tried to run away. They stopped him. They started beating him up. Joe Hendry made the save. But the Judgment Day did still get the money, but Joe Hendry did end up saving Danhausen from the beatdown. And then in a backstage segment, they found out it wasn't real money. JD got mad, threw the bag behind him, and hit Obafemi. And you can guess what that led to. He got absolutely destroyed by Obafemi in the ring. And I as much as I love, like, it's still good to get these Obafemi squash matches every once in a while, because these are the most entertaining squash matches I've ever seen. I genuinely love them. Then we also had a match between Dominic Mysterio and Joe Hendry. Danhausen came out to try to help Joe Hendry. Liv just punched him. And then a few minutes later, he comes back with Io Sky in his Danhausen mobile. And this was hilarious. And then Danhausen started doing the EO mode. It was just awesome. And I really, really love this because they built to two matches at once. They built to Liv versus EO, and also the now confirmed Dom versus Danhausen match, which I cannot wait for. Both in the same segment, which I loved it. I absolutely love this. What I think Liv versus Io needs, though, is either Stephanie to return, or they have like a really good pull-apart brawl next week. And that would get me really, really excited for this match. As for Danhausen versus Dom, I cannot wait for that. It is going to be so entertaining. And honestly, as much as I love Danhausen, as much as I want to protect his undefeated streak, he needs to lose to Dom. You cannot be having Dom lose to Danhausen. Like this hot take says, he is genuinely kind of getting jobbed out on the main roster. I mean, the dude is the AAA Mega Champion. You cannot have him just constantly getting jobbed out. The show kicked off with Javon Evans and Dragon Lee versus Rusev and Ethan Page. And as soon as I saw that Javon and Dragon Lee were teaming, I knew, oh baby, this match is about to be damn good. And oh boy, was it. Absolute heater of a match up against the Vision. The Vision ended up picking up the win, thank God, and Braun Breaker got the pin. However, while I found this segment entertaining, well, let me talk a little bit about the segment a little more first. They started attacking Giovanna and Dragon after the match, then Alpha Academy came out to make the save, but the Vision still ended up on top. Now, as much as I like this story with the Alpha Academy and the Vision and Maxine Dupree, I find it entertaining, it's fun. Braun Breaker still gotta go, man. I liked this, and I believe they announced Alpha Academy versus the Vision for the titles next week. Not 100% sure if it was for the titles, so don't quote me on that. But I would figure that match would be at SummerSlam. Hopefully after SummerSlam, Braun Breaker's out of the fucking Vision because he needs it. Like, desperately, badly. Just go off with Heyman. It seems like Heyman's already left the faction. So, Braun just needs to leave. We had there was a lot of segments involving the Judgment Day and Danhausen in this episode. Like, a lot. But they were entertaining. Also, I want to say this, during an ad break, there was a promo with Sol Ruca and Raquel Rodriguez separately. We got confirmation of Raquel versus Sol for the Intercontinental title next week. And in the promo with Sol Ruca, Lyra Valkyria actually said she's going to be coming after the title. Whether it's Raquel or Sol that wins next week, it doesn't look like we're getting that ladder match that I predicted for the women's IC title. But if we get Sol versus Lyra at SummerSlam, that would be a fantastic follow-up to Looney Lyra's heel turn and great match with Bayley. I don't know where in the world Becky Lynch is, But yeah, I'm excited to see if Lyra can actually win the title, and honestly, I think she should. Now, then we had another tag match between Chad Gable and Penta teaming up against Rusev and Ethan Page. And this was another absolute banger of a match. A banger of a match, and it ended in a very creative finish. Chad Gable had Rusev in the ankle lock and then got down on like his knees, and Penta jumped off his back into a Mexican destroyer to Ethan Page, which was just awesome. And then Rusev tapped out, which I did not like. Rusev should not be tapping out. But it is a big win for Chad Gable, and I think it's good having him look strong as a strong, reputable, reliable challenger going into SummerSlam. The hot take here is worried that Penta is going to get lost in the shuffle after SummerSlam. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Even before he was Intercontinental Champion, he was the workhorse on Raw for like a year. Like basically ever since he debuted, having a match almost every week and consistently putting on match of the night contenders. Then we had a promo with Solo Sikoa and Seth freaking Rollins. Solo made some good points saying how it's not just going to be Roman versus Seth. It's going to be the whole bloodline against him. It's not just one-on-one. And Solo offered to watch Seth's back. Seth Rollins said, "Let me think about it." Tried to walk out, but he got stopped by Solo. And Solo did some more convincing, but before Seth could answer, Jacob Fatu came out, and Seth Rollins ended up super kicking Jacob Fatu from behind, or as soon as he turned around, whatever. And this is a little unfortunate because this now basically confirms that it's not just going to be Roman versus Seth one-on-one. It's going to be a bloodline. It's going to be bloodline rules. And don't get me wrong, I'm actually a fan of, like, the overbooking of run-ins. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I find it really entertaining. But as much as I do like that, I wanted this match to be clean, just Roman and Seth one-on-one, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, unfortunately. Maybe, like, the LA Knight Royce and Solo damaged the bloodline so much that they can't help him in the tag match. I would love that. I really hope that's what happens because I don't want to see the bloodline involved in this. I want this to be a completely clean match. And it would be also, if he does accept the help, it would be interesting to see if this is a trap from Solo and he's rejoining the bloodline, like this hot take says. And then in the main event, we had, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. But before the match, LA Knight, yeah, cut a promo and called out Solo for offering his help to Seth Rollins. The match itself between Jacob, why do I keep saying Roman? Jacob and LA Knight, was actually pretty solid. However, what I did not like about this was LA Knight, took the pin, which was just completely unnecessary. LA Knight does not need to be taking pins this close to the tag match. And I mean, there was literally no reason because it ended in a brawl. And literally, I'm not joking, 2 seconds after Jacob pinned LA Knight, Solo came in and started attacking him. Literally just have Solo come in 5 seconds earlier and end the match in a DQ and cause a brawl. And it would have been the exact same. The brawl still would have been good, except LA Knight just wouldn't have taken the pin. So that part really did make me mad. There was literally no reason to have LA Knight, take this pin. However, the brawl that ensued after, while it was kind of predictable, I found it very entertaining. It all started when Jimmy came out just to help Jacob Fatu, I assume. And then Solo did his thing where he tapped on Jimmy's shoulder and punched him. They started fighting. But then Jacob took out Solo to give him the upper hand. Royce Keys came out and attacked Jimmy. And then Jay came out, returned, and attacked Royce Keys. And then Jay got taken out by LA Knight, yeah, and the brawl ensued after Jacob Fatu hit the pop-up Samoan drop, Mighty Moonsault, and won. This did get me more hyped for the tag team match at SummerSlam, and I'm glad that this story that has been getting consistent TV time week after week has interesting, intriguing characters and an actual story going there, got a main event spot, and I liked this. The hot take for this one is the most flat main event I've watched in a long time. LA Knight didn't even need to get pinned. You already know my thoughts on that. I agree. It was the same result anyways, brawl. Yeah, basically exactly what I said, but I definitely don't think it was the most flat main event in a long time. Obviously, that's subjective, but I just personally disagree. That's going to be it, though, for this episode of the Raw Review. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and